Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm back upstairs with my special new backdrop and doing another book video. Actually, I have on my laptop here all the books I've read in July, and yeah, I'm going to talk through each book, my thoughts and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I obviously read a lot of books in July, mostly because I have been on uni holidays, and a lot of my books also were Kindles because I currently have Kindle Unlimited for free, so I've been using and abusing it. Anyway, before we get into this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, now I'm going to start talking about the books I read this month. Okay, so the first book I read this month was Layla by Colleen Hoover. Yeah, it was an interesting one. I feel like it's one of Colleen Hoover's lesser known books. She's become super popular at the moment, and I've read a lot of her books actually now, mostly because of Kindle Unlimited. And Layla's one of the unpopular ones, but honestly I think it's one of my favourite Colleen Hoover's to date. It was really weird actually. It was like gothic kind of themes and romance, but like there was a lot around like ghosts and that kind of thing. And the main character, his morals become a bit like iffy as the book goes along. You kind of like want to scream at him when you're reading it, but it's really good and it was like pretty addictive. I have a list here of books I've read this month, and like, well, this year in total actually. And I rated it a 5 out of 5, which is pretty high. I'd say the only Colleen Hoover I like more than Layla to date is Reminders of Him. But yeah, Layla was really good and very underrated. If you have Kindle Unlimited or you can get it for free, I recommend checking it out because it's definitely lesser known and so good. The next book I finished this month was Bridge Kingdom. This was a series, so I read the first book, Bridge Kingdom, and the second book, Trader Queen, within the span of a few days. I actually read them very quickly. Again, they were on Kindle Unlimited for free. Well, for me, because I have Kindle Unlimited for free for a couple of months. And they were really good. So these books were by Danielle L. Jensen, and I rated Bridge Kingdom a 5 out of 5. I'm pretty generous, honestly. And then Trader Queen a 4.5 out of 5. And I'd say I listed the themes for these books as like fantasy, young adult, new adult. They were really good. I've not heard heaps about Bridge Kingdom before reading it. It just kind of caught my eye on Kindle Unlimited. So good though. If you watched my last book video, you know I went on about the character Lara from Bridge Kingdom. She is like so kick butt, so cool. She reminds me of Aelin from Throne of Glass, and she's just such a good character. I do feel like, so the first book was amazing. That was probably my favourite out of the two, and I liked how it was a duology. I feel like 3 books would, like a lot of trilogies, it's too much. Like you don't really need the third book. Usually 2 books sums it up pretty well, and I think it was a good choice being a duology for this series. I do think the second book though, the ending was a bit rushed almost. I would have liked it to kind of see it wrap up more slowly and just see more details. Also, a few of the characters annoyed me because they just had a lot of prejudices and stuff like that. It's a bit annoying. I can't really say without ruining the storyline. If you're into young adult sort of fantasy things, like I'd say if you have read any of Leigh Bardugo's books or Sarah J Maas's books, that kind of thing, you would also like Bridge Kingdom. Really good, really underrated again. And of course Trader Queen, which is the second book. The fourth book I read this month was Colleen Hoover's Heartbones. And so this was like a coming of age romance, kind of young adult Colleen Hoover book. It's not like one of her thriller ones. She has a lot of ones that are pretty full on. It wasn't like that at all. It was quite relaxed, really. Just kind of like summer romance, coming of age kind of vibes. I liked it. It was pretty relaxing. It wasn't full on. Like, it was a nice break from all the other books that I'd read that were more like fast paced, exciting. Definitely not one of Colleen Hoover's best books, I'd say. Like, worthwhile reading for sure, but not like a top read or anything like that. I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars, and yeah, I said the genre was romance coming of age. Yeah, so it's just like a nice gentle kind of read, a relaxing romance per se. Then I read Too Late by Colleen Hoover. This was the opposite of Heartburns. Okay, so I rated Too Late 2 out of 5. The storyline was good and I liked a lot of the characters, but it was a really full-on book. I probably wouldn't recommend it. Saying that, it has a lot of trigger warnings when you go to read the book. Like, I went to read it on Kindle and it came up with like trigger warnings, like, are you sure you want to read this? And I kind of disregarded them. Honestly, wish I'd probably listened to them. I would take the trigger warnings seriously. It focuses a lot on domestic violence, but it's quite graphic, this book. Yeah, lots of domestic violence, lots of like sexual abuse kind of stuff. It's very full on. They also swear like every third word, which honestly is not my kind of thing. I don't really like that. But yeah, it was very adrenaline raising, full on. I probably wouldn't recommend it for the majority of the population, honestly. It is a romance, but of course, like most of Colin Hoover's ones, it's like a thriller too, but it's quite violent. So yeah. Okay, the next book I read, well, the last 3 books I read actually weren't Kindles. Surprise, surprise, they're actually real books, so that's something new. I read I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. I also talked about this in my last book video. I'll put the link on the screen or whatever. This one was good. It was like LGBTQ, romance, coming of age, young adult kind of vibes. I really liked it. It also had a lot of mystery in it, which is cool. The first half was like solidly mystery and the second half was more romance. It was again like just a really nice, happy, relaxing book. Typical sort of romance book, but with like extra spins on it and kind of thing. Yeah, I really like this book. I would definitely recommend it. I think it's my favourite out of Casey McQuiston's books, actually. I liked Red, White and Royal Blue, which is another one of her books, but this one was topped it by a lot. It was much better. I fell in love with the characters and the plot was great. The romance is cute. Recommend. I gave it a 5 out of 5. So, the next physical book I read was You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen McManus. I actually only just finished this a few days ago because I'm filming this like early August. This is so good. I always love Karen McManus's books. They're always a mystery. This was again a murder mystery and young adult, of course, and it's so good. Not my favourite of her books, but definitely one of my top favourites from Karen McManus. It was like set in high school. These 3 unlikely best friends, well, they used to be best friends. They like kind of get together again and decide to skip school together, and when they skip school they accidentally walk in on a murder scene and they're kind of pulled into the murder mystery and it all like evolves, and there are lots of plot twists you don't see coming, lots of like character tension, yeah, all over. It's a great book. I again rated this a 5 out of 5, so definitely if mystery is your thing, Karen McManus is your author. Okay, and the last book I read for July was Where the Crawdads Sing. I finished this like a couple of days ago. I read most of this in one day because my friend and I were doing like a readathon together. Also, okay, how cute is this cover? That's the one thing, is I'm like obsessed with this cover. It's so pretty. And I'm going to see the movie in a couple of days, so I'm very excited. That's why I wanted to like get it done so I can go see the movie. And yeah, this book was nice. It was set in North Carolina in like the 1950s to 70s, and it was kind of like a bit of a murder mystery, but mostly just sort of a life story, like fictional, but just kind of going through someone's life, their childhood experiences, their romances, coming of age, and then ends at like the murder case kind of thing. It was pretty good. I can see why a lot of people like it. It wasn't like particularly exciting. It wasn't the kind of one where I felt like I had to read it. I found the last bit quite interesting because that was all about the murder mystery case, whereas most of it is just about like the life of this girl. So it follows like the life of this girl Kaya, who's known as the Marsh Girl, and she basically lives in the marshlands by herself and pretty much brings herself up, and then is like a murder suspect many years later. So yeah, it was good. I rated it a 3 out of 5. It was a solidly good read, but nothing like standout or amazing. But anyway, those are my reads for the month of July. I'm super excited to start another month full of good books. Should be good. I of course won't be reading as much over the next few months because of uni starting back, So although I could do this about all the books I read in July, I might do more videos like this, but do like a couple of months in one video, because I doubt I'll read as many books in the next few months. But if you guys did like this video, please like this video and subscribe down below, because that really helps support me and my channel. Also, comment below book recommendations, or if you've read any of these books, your thoughts. I'd love to discuss them. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. So, see ya.